Hello teacups, what's brewing? So today we have not one but two Chantal videos, actually three if you count the poutine one, but I'm not reacting to that because god damn guys, it was kind of boring. Other than being like, why are you eating 2 hot dogs and a massive thing of poutine covered in ketchup? I didn't really have anything else to add to it. I was going to react to the pizza party with Pete that she put up, but then I had to live my life yesterday, so I didn't have time to get to it. I was going to do it today, and she uploaded another video, which was a fast food review. Like, that's going to change anything. Mukbang review. What I'm going to do, because those videos were posted very close to each other, and I watched the pizza party one, and she had a plan at the end of it of what she was going to do for the next week. And the pizza party itself was a low-carb pizza dough. Now, it's kind of pointless her doing that because she was also showing off the Liberté Crunch yogurts that she was eating. And she was like, oh, the rest of the macros for that don't matter. I checked the macros, guys. They're like 200 calories and 26 grams of carbs each. And she was probably eating more than one. She had a pack there. So she's not low carb, and she did say she wasn't low carb. She said it's not keto, it's paleo. But she does seem to have this belief, and I think I've mentioned this in a previous video, where she cherry picks things from different diets and then wonders why they don't work. And the thing with low carb and with keto is that if you're not doing the low carb of it, you're just increasing the fat in your diet and increasing the calories you're taking in, and that's going to make it worse. More fat in conjunction with the carbs you're eating is just going to make it worse. Now, 26 grams of carbs might not sound that bad, but for one yogurt, to give you some idea, if you haven't done keto or low carb, there's a spectrum among the community of how many carbs you have, but most people won't go above 50. Otherwise, they won't be in ketosis. I had a period of time where I was staying below 20, below 20 for some people, 20 to 50 for others. It varies, it depends what your goals are and why you're doing it. But that's a lot of carbs in one. That's not counting the carbs that are in the pizza. She did not enjoy the pizza. She was like, I recommend it if you're low carb and you don't mind this or that. She put a good face on it, but she only ate half of it. She didn't seem to enjoy it very much. And basically, health-wise, it's, unless she's doing it in conjunction with the rest of the diet, it really isn't gonna help her. Calorie-wise, she might as well just have had a regular piece of pizza. Yes, it was less processed than a pizza would have been, but you can tell it didn't satisfy her at all. So I'm just going to insert very quickly a portion of the video where she talks about her plan for the next week, because she had some different things on the go.
I have more recipes planned for you coming this week. I've decided, I did plan also a week of videos, so I'm going to have a road trip in there for you guys. We're going to go check things out, go for a walk, some recipes. I have, I think I have a creepypasta or mystery planned. I can't remember which one. And I'm going to be recreating a Simply Sarah recipe. I'm going to do fast food Fridays, so I'm going to eat fast food on Friday, on my fast food Fridays only. And that I think will work best for me at this point. And Pizza and I will do videos together on the weekends.
So that's as much as we knew before the video came out today. It seemed like she had some kind of plan to eat healthier, though she didn't define the plan as such. She did mention during the video that she had like a seasoning packet left over from the Not Freshly, whatever it's called, Good Foods Canada. So she had mentioned a few days ago she was getting a delivery from them again, and we didn't see her preparing that food, but now she's saying that she'd eaten some, she had a seasoning packet left over. So if we see any cookbangs with that, I'm guessing they would have been pre-recorded. I'm wondering when she recorded this, if it's actually is yesterday or not. I'm not sure in terms of how quickly she cycled through here, but I think it's up to date. I think it was just filmed and then uploaded, but there's no real way to prove it. I say I doubt it just because I can't see how anyone can cycle as fast as she does, but she does, so there we go, I suppose. But today's video says new Burger King crispy Cajun chicken sandwich mukbang fast food review. Bit of a mouthful, sorry. Apparently their plan for Pete and her to keep each other accountable did not go well. Neither did the meal planning and what have you. So we're gonna see how this has gone. I did notice when she was talking about the things she was going to do over the next week, it's essentially the same 3 things, and it included a drive. She said she was going to drive and walk because that's her excuse, the exercise. We discussed that before in a previous video when she did that. I'm telling you now, especially given the title of the next video, she clearly was going for a drive to get fast food. It's one of her major triggers. So I wish she would pursue a new interest, because I think the reason she finds trouble when she's trying to come up with new videos and move away from the mukbang content is her whole life does revolve around food. All of her interests revolve around food. And anytime she gets out of the house, it's just an excuse to go get more food. If she had other interests, she could fill her time with something else. But I'd love her to see her take a class or a course. I know it's difficult now with the COVID, but even an online class that she could work through with us. I don't know, but we'll see. Hello, Foodie Beauty.
Sam, why you tore up the carpets?
My favorite thing.
Hey guys, hey! Welcome back to...
Whoa. Mukbang starts at 1812, just like the war. What on earth happens before the mukbang?
Another video!
I'm glad she's not wearing those
and
crazy
I'll be watching
glasses.
the road, so don't mind me if I don't make too much eye contact with you.
What's the point? She posted that dress she's wearing on Instagram, and but I like them. She's gone for a lighter kind of pinky lipstick, and I like the lipstick with it. It's quite like a spring summer look.
I'm sure you understand. I'm going for...
And she does need a bra though. The thing with wearing lighter colors is that it doesn't hide anything, so I wouldn't recommend it if you're not able to wear a bra under it to help shape you.
a little drive, and this brings me to what I want to talk to you about.
Burger King, apparently.
Before this video, a lot of you probably noticed, since that's what I get a lot of criticism on, as if I'm the only person ever in the world to do this, but...
Well, we're already starting in a very promising way. Oh my.
Anyways, I do it publicly, I guess. So, you know, I just go through,
My nose is
give my audience whiplash with going back and forth, between different kinds of content. What I want to do, what I'm doing with my life, on diet, off diet.
To be clear, different kinds of content are those two, on diet and off diet.
Mukbangs, no mukbangs, mukbang weight loss. I'm going to just speak openly and very freely and honestly about how I'm feeling.
Don't mind my grandma. Okay.
And
give you a pass.
You know, some things might be a bit controversial, but...
When she says controversial, what I'm actually hearing is some things might be a bit stupid or illogical. Because if I know Chantal's past cycles, this isn't going to make a lot of logical sense.
If that's how I feel, honestly, I don't feel like I should hold back with how I'm feeling and just express to you honestly.
Go for it, honey.
I really just am thinking what makes me happy, and
food.
When I'm feeling the happiest, when I'm feeling the less stressed, and you know, doing content like vlogs all the time, or just any weight loss related stuff, any at all, meal plan, blah blah blah. For me, that's very boring. And
when she says boring here, what I'm hearing is anytime she's not actively stuffing her face is boring. which I could believe of her, but any weight loss, any meal prep, any, like she's been doing those things consistently. When was the last time you lasted more than a few days at this? I mean, come on now. To say it's very boring, I don't think it's boring. I think she gets a lot of backlash, and she does get a lot of backlash. I'm not arguing that at all, about her inconsistency. And so she can't be consistent in her weight loss, and so she's like, oh no, it's boring.
And like doing the pizza yesterday, I didn't enjoy making that video.
We could
I know
tell.
a lot of people enjoyed it, and a lot of people are trying to encourage me to become healthier.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are putting the pressure on me to.
We're not trying to put pressure on you, but well, I suppose it is pressure in the end. If you don't feel like you can do it, it's always going to feel like pressure. But, you know, people are encouraging you. And even though, and I'm pretty sure I said at the beginning of this video, it was pretty stupid to cherry pick, oh, I'm going to have this paleo crust and that'll somehow be more healthy in conjunction with these other things that aren't really that good for me. I don't think you're actually doing anything that's going to help you. But the intent of it, hey, here's a healthier option, was not bad.
Become healthier. And that is in their mind. There's like only one way for me to do that. And
I disagree. I disagree entirely. There are 1,000 ways, but you need to choose one and stick with it. So it's not that there's one way, it's that whatever way you do, you have to be consistent.
In my mind, I'm thinking, because I'm just very different in my mind, and I just constantly fighting every day to not like fast food or to not like certain foods.
You can like it, don't get me wrong, there is a place in life for a burger. I did not get to 280 pounds without liking fast food of some description. Be it, yes, I went for more sweet things, but I could demolish a burger in my time. I really could. You can accept that you crave or want these things, absolutely. And that doesn't go away. It can get easier to manage if you're eating the right kind of foods. I don't expect you to be able to switch that off. I'm saying choose healthier coping mechanisms and choose to not put yourself in the situation where you're increasing your chances of binging. That's what I'm looking for.
And it just makes me miserable, you know? And
well, denying yourself something that in the moment makes you very happy, even if it's only in that moment, that gives you that rush, it's always going to make you miserable. The reward of seeing your progress helps to replace that rush. It's just that whenever you take it away, you never replace it with something new.
You know, yeah, the food's addictive, so there's that. But I have a fascination. A lot of you probably don't know this about me, because it's not something I feel like talking about, considering there's so many people who give me so much shit for liking
what's she
fast
fascinated
food or
about?
eating fast food.
I'm gonna
or
get
talking about fast
seasick
food.
with this.
Because, you know, fast food has a bad name. And the thing is you can say the same thing about anything that people use and abuse, right?
Yeah. What's your point there?
It's me who was abusing fast food. It's not the fast food that's the problem, it's me.
Excuse me? It's not the cocaine, it's the fact that I take the cocaine. Fast food is a problem. Yes, people have different responses, but fast food isn't good for anyone. It's trash. Are there people that can manage it as part of their diet? Are there people who can moderate it and balance with a healthy diet? Yes, there are. I'm not one of them, Chantal's not one of them, but there are people who can have it as part of their life. But it's trash. Let's be clear, it's trash, it's good for no one.
I was abusing the fast food, but I have a fascination with fast food in a different way. I find that I have a fascination in the sense that I love watching vintage fast food commercials. I like researching on eBay vintage fast food items.
Okay.
I wanted to order some like vintage McDonald's glasses. To me, it's like a whole culture, and
I don't understand the point you're making here. Yes, it is. Vintage advertising is a huge market. People love it. And there's nothing to say you can't still enjoy that. You want to watch the old commercials? You know a commercial I really like? Do you remember when Britney Spears was at like the height of her fame and she did a big Super Bowl commercial with Pepsi? And it was Pepsi through the, oh, I'm going to have to find that ad now. But it was Pepsi through the ages, and it started with, you know, Pepsi for those who think young. That one. I love that. Like, vintage advertising is fun and nostalgic, and the artwork on it is nice to see. Like, I can understand enjoying that, but you can enjoy that without shoving a Big Mac in your face, or what have you got today? A crispy Cajun chicken sandwich. You can enjoy the branding of advertising and the vintage factor of it without eating it.
Why, you know, I just keep fighting that, and it's like, why, if I just want to eat something for a fast food meal, that's fine. People will argue that I'm monetizing my fast food addiction.
You are.
But it's actually, or an eating disorder, I should say.
Yep.
They say she's monetizing her eating disorder. I must speak out against it. And it's like, most of the people that say that are monetizing their videos on bullying or hate, but that...
I would argue that all videos are bullying and hate. I don't feel I'm being bullying or hateful. I think you probably see it that way because I'm pointing out the inconsistencies in what you're saying and you don't like to hear that. Because with the black and white thinking that Chantal has, any criticism is like cannot be constructive. For all she said, she can take constructive criticism. So I'm sure I've seen it. There are people who do just outright bully her. But let's say for a second that every channel out here was bullying her. The bullying isn't killing them. The fast food is killing you.
Besides the point. It's okay for you to monetize it by talking about my eating disorder that you know so much about, but you don't.
Genuinely, I do. Binge eater to binge eater, I do. Is there an argument that, oh no, we're all special and unique little snowflakes and it manifests in different ways? To an extent, yes. Like, you give her some fast food, she will eat it. I enjoy fast food, I'm more for sweets. You give me a bag of chips, I don't really give a shit. I can leave it in the cupboard. You put a pack of 6 chocolate bars in my cupboard, I will eat 6 chocolate bars, my friend. So Chantal is slightly different in her triggers, but there is a reason people get diagnosed with binge eating disorder. There is a commonality in the threads of what constitutes binge eating disorder that actually, hell yes, I can talk on the subject because I'm experienced in it.
But it's just like, and I sound offensive because I am, because I wish that I could honestly...
You sound offensive or offended? You did ask us to excuse the grammar, but that does change the meaning of your sentence quite a lot.
Just be myself, and I think a lot of back and forth with me going from, like, I feel, I'm not blaming people for my decisions that I make, but
Good.
I do feel like I've been pressured. Like, I feel like a pressure as an obese person in social media to eat a certain way.
I think there definitely is more judgment on the consumption of people who are overweight, especially on a public forum. But the reason people think that is because you've come on time and time and time again, and you've said, I've got all these health issues and this is killing me and I need to change. And you keep doing that. You keep having that realization and your health keeps getting worse. And you're at the point now where it is legitimately breaking down your body. It is actively worsening the health concerns you have. And that's why you get more criticism than most, because you have a whole history on YouTube, and as try as you might, you can't erase it. You've come too far with it. So people can't separate you from that idea, and that's why they can't just leave you be to eat, because you created an entire narrative that you now cannot step away from.
To look a certain way, like try to hide my fat, certain pressure a certain way to...
I think there are very successful obese people on on YouTube that embrace how they look, people are more critical of you because you can be pretty disgusting with it. Like, you fart and you burp and you put yourself into angles in the camera that you know people are going to criticize. You paint a target on your own back, and I almost hope that you do that for the feeders, because then at least there's reason and you're earning something from it. But you know damn well how people are going to react to that. So the pressure you put on is pressure you put on yourself. You put yourself into these situations. We don't, we're just here to witness it.
Explain why I'm eating a burger, or that's why I do that. I explain my life away before I eat. Oh, I know I'm beezing, this is bad.
Yeah, for the record, that's not really an explanation. Oh, I know this is terrible, so why are you doing it? I'm beezing. That's not an explanation.
But it's like, I wish I'd never opened that can of worms.
But you did.
I wish I just, and I think the only way to get over that is to consistently close the can of worms and do.
Which she has still not yet been able to do. She had that hater video, and then this. How many times have we had this conversation? Like, she can't do it.
All of my fighting, do all of my self-improvement, do all of my life shit in private,
But you want...
And it's like, I agree with that, because
I do agree. I think if you were a brand new channel now and you were coming in the size you are and you were saying, I am going to eat on camera, and you had no history with the internet, you had no community around you, you were brand new and building a channel, and you said nothing else, you just kept on the straight and narrow, and you're like, I'm doing mukbangs, done. I think it would be a fantastic idea not to say anything. But it's too late for that now. There's no closing that can of worms. There are worms everywhere. And the internet remembers. There's too much history there now. You can't just erase it however much you try.
It's just like, otherwise I don't see why somebody would continually pick on me by doing videos or talking about constantly the same thing over and over. She's eating fast food, she's eating fast food, she's eating fast food. And that's why I find like people who talk about that are hypocrites, because
Hypocrites in what way? Please have an example. Am I eating fast food on camera while telling you not to eat fast food on camera? No, I'm coming in and I'm saying, here, I understand your issues. Here, please change. Here are the things you can do. I understand that feeling. I'm connecting with this because I've lived through it. So explain to me how I'm a hypocrite.
Criticize me for that are hypocrites, especially the overweight ones, because you're obviously eating something not good for you too. You wouldn't be obese eating kale and quinoa, which is fucking disgusting. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like how...
Quinoa isn't too bad, but kale is just awful. But again, I think I might have said this before, in the sense of, as with everything in her life, she has no middle ground. It's either kale and quinoa and almond and coconut oil pizza base, or it's junk food mukbangs. Why can't she just say, here's a reasonable calorie limit and a reasonable meal, and have mashed potatoes and a vegetable and a protein, and not cut any shit out, but just eat a reasonable meal? Because that's all she'd have to do. And yes, I say that like sometimes you're not capable of it. Sometimes the mental thing of just want to eat, 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 that is strong. That is the binge instinct. She needs to get help for that, obviously. But I think she makes it a lot more complicated with her black and white view of it than it needs to be.
I don't like that kind of healthy food. So I'm a food lover, I'm a foodie, I'm Foodie Beauty.
You are neither foodie nor beauty a lot of the time. Let's be real. You like fast food, I completely get it. But you said you didn't enjoy cooking. You don't seem to enjoy preparing your own food. You only seem to enjoy eating a very certain type of garbage. So how are you a foodie here?
I want to turn my channel into food related. I want to eat what I want. I want to, whenever the COVID thing is over, I want to travel and try different foods. I want to.
Okay, so question one, how are you going to travel to try different foods? Because if you're going to travel, and that's completely legitimate, you'd be like, I want to travel the world and I want to try new things. Right now, you're barely fitting into that car. So you're not going to try anything new and amazing and different, even though I'm sure actually Canada is a very diverse cuisine available there. That wasn't a very good sentence, sorry guys. But I'm sure you can get a lot of different kinds of food in Canada, but if you want to travel, you need to be healthier than you are because you're barely making it around the grocery store. How many years have you been trying to go to Jamaica? You are terrible. We haven't heard about her trip to Dominican Republic in the last few videos. She was terrified about having one seat and she just wants to toss this to the wind. This is why also this isn't going to last, because she's going to realize that she's got a trip coming up. When she gets off kind of this, however she sounds right now, it is essentially kind of a temper tantrum. It's a tantrum, maybe not a temper tantrum, but a tantrum. Once she gets off this, she's going to realize, shit, there's still only one seat on the plane and I need to get healthier. The next time she's in this post-binge haze of, ugh, I can't keep doing this. The most basic of things. She's going to have another moment of realization and start the cycle again. And she's going to be even closer to the trip.
Be a travel foodie, doing food taste test reviews, challenges. And work on myself in private, and I think that I have a right to do that.
You absolutely have a right to do that, but will you do it? That's the question, because every other time you've said, I'm going to do my stuff privately, you've, one, not been able to keep it private, and two, not been able to do it.
And that's what I'm going to do. And I know I say that over and over.
Yeah,
because,
you do.
like I said, I feel guilty. I feel pressured, because that's how I've always looked at certain foods. I should feel guilty around it. That's the eating disorder. Is that mentality towards food?
Not really. I mean, yes, demonizing food isn't helpful, but when you say, oh, I shouldn't have that, and the guilt, it's because you're eating 3 fast food meals. You're looking at what you're doing. You recognize it's abnormal in some way. Abnormal is a bad word. It's disordered. It's excessive and disordered, and you recognize that. And that's where that's coming from. It's the tiny part in your brain screaming, hey, we don't have to do this, and you pushing it down so you can eat.
Food that's so unhealthy, like if I look at this as my job, as a meal, it's a completely different mindset I'm working on. And yet,
because it being a job and a meal completely dismisses everything else for you. It's a justification.
I sit back and forth a lot on my channel because this is a learning process for me. When I started my channel, the notion of food addiction and eating disorder didn't exist in my mind.
That's true.
I was just living my life.
I've gone back and watched some of her early ones. She was certainly happier, but there's no going back now. It's too late.
I think that over the years it's just been figuring shit out for my life. I'm a real person. This is real time. This is not fictional. This is, you don't change your life overnight, You
don't, but you seem to be changing your mind overnight a lot. You posted your other video 18 hours ago.
But I'm not monetizing my eating disorder. What I eat in my mukbangs is not my eating disorder. If I sat there and filmed my actual binges, that would be different. But even then, people who are trying to bring to light their eating disorders or to help other people, there's nothing wrong with that. Why shouldn't a creator monetize their videos? They don't.
Because you're not trying to help people with eating disorders. You're just eating. And then crying about the fact that someone called you huge in French. You were actually near tears in your car about that. And coming on saying it's killing me. That's what it is. That's why people have a go at you when they may not have a go at other mukbangers who are also big. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head because I only watch her and ALR. But that's why the hypocrisy of what you do is the reason you get so much flack for it.
Owe us anything, you know? I don't owe you anything. Of course,
True.
I'm on here to make money and to entertain people.
Okay, so what point are you making? You don't owe us a video. Yes, you don't. Stop doing them. You absolutely don't owe me a video. But if you're going to say, you're not doing me a favor, if you're going to say, well, I want to earn money, well, then you give us content for that. That's how you earn your money. It's not a favor you're doing us.
And I want to have a good time. I want it to be lighthearted. I don't want it to be me crying about food all the time.
But that's what you do.
And I think that will really help me, and I'm going to really see how that goes. But
spoiler alert, Chantal, we know exactly how it's going to go. Do you need the graphic of the cycle again?
I take my own responsibility. I keep shooting myself in the foot by constantly bringing up weight issues and things like that. And I think it's because I feel like I need to explain my life away, especially since there's that audience that just keeps...
No, I mean, yes, you're explaining because an audience is there. But the reason you feel the need to explain it, or not even explain, but excuse it, is because you're ashamed of it. And if you dig deeper, ask yourself the question, why are you ashamed of it? Because you know it's not what you should be doing. And I don't mean should as in social pressure, I mean should as in your body's breaking down.
Looking to see if I'm losing weight, if I'm making progress. And it's just like, you know, so I feel like I kind of have to meet everybody in the middle and kind of go with both sides, like try to atone for both sides. I have different mixed audience, but...
Mixed audience because she goes back and forth. She did all this to herself.
I think that, and if you're part of that who's just going to be disappointed in what I'm doing in my life, then if you need to unsubscribe and not watch, I totally get it. That's fine with me, you know?
I was wondering how long it would tell people to not watch. Disappointed sometimes. When you're on a weight loss kick and you go, no, I'm going to eat fast food. Yeah, I get a bit disappointed. But honey, don't get it twisted. You are a train wreck. And much like any wreck, you're very difficult to turn away from. Would I love to see you get back on track and not wreck? Absolutely. And I keep watching and I keep hoping. My naive little heart keeps hoping. But you provide content either way, and I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm totally understanding of that. Anyways, and there's just gonna always be a group of people who just want the failure, like for some weird reason.
I don't want the failure, but it gives me something to watch regardless, put it that way. Like, I want you to succeed because nobody wants to see you die on camera. Nobody wants to see you die on camera. I'm repeating that because you don't seem to understand it. That's not what people are here for. But you keep believing that, no matter what we try to do to help you, no matter what we say. Any criticism is hate.
And it makes them feel good about themselves, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I do understand that mentality. I just don't, you know, it's just not good to be that way.
I understand that mentality, but it's not good to be that way. She understands it because that's the mentality she has. She's proven again and again when she's gone and watched other people and said horrible things about other people. That's why she understands it. So, you know, let's just be very careful about the lines we're drawing there.
So, but it's not an eating disorder when I have a fast food meal.
Yeah, it is.
You know, and I really love Nick Ocato's videos, so I'm not saying...
Oh. I can't watch him. I can't watch him. I've tried. I've had videos where if people have been talking about it, and I've clicked in briefly and just been like, it's too much cringe.
this to bash him, but it's not like I eat like Nick Ocado does. And even if I did, like, he can eat the way he wants. I find his videos hilarious.
So I think this goes back to, you know, people like to watch the failure. I think she watches him because he's possibly one of the few bigger train wrecks than she is, and it makes her feel better. I don't eat like he does.
I honestly, when I'm like, and he's consistent. He uploads every single day. It's like a long video, and he's hilarious, especially at the beginning. Like,
he's not hilarious. He makes me very, very sad when I watch him. He makes me cringe, but when I've tried to watch him, he's just made me sad. You consider where he came from to where he is. That poor boy, when he has a wake-up call and a serious health scare, and he's like, I tried to get myself to 300, what was I do? But he'll do anything for the views, and that's where he is. I don't think
he's yelling at Siri or saying he looks like a cherry in his faces. I don't know. He puts a smile on my face, and it just, I don't know. So
he should not be your role model. To anyone in the world, he should not be your role model.
So it's like, but it's not like I'm eating like 10 fast food meals in one, you know. And it's not binge eating disorder. A binge is, it's something you're ashamed of. It's usually done in private, which for me, it's like you hide the food, you eat it fast, you eat everything in sight. That's what a binge is for me usually.
I think she's confusing a few things here. In fact, I'm gonna take a second and see if I can find maybe some definitions of binge eating disorder, because we see this very differently. And Chantal seems to think that because I can binge worse than this, this is not a binge. And I really do disagree. Actually, this video is going to be hugely long. Maybe I won't find those definitions. But I disagree with that, because all of the behaviors she's discussing, she displays whether she's got one meal or three. So the shame and the hiding. She said she used to hide pizza boxes from BB. He found them in the closet one day. And part of being in her car to eat this stuff is hiding, is the shame. Even though she's got less shame with Pete's, she still goes out and drives alone to eat. She's still showing that behavior, even if she's got smaller portions. Now, it's still a large meal, but even if she's not eating 2 or 3 of them, all of the behaviors surrounding it make it a binge. The mentality of it, the ritualized behavior of going out in the car and parking up. Just because you planned to do this doesn't, like, a binge doesn't have to be spontaneous. It can be a result of very ritualized behaviors. This is a binge, whether she wants to admit it or not.
It's after my day of eating is over, my videos are done, I'm sitting there at night, and then I just go ham on food. And I don't...
That can definitely be a binge, for sure, but it doesn't discount what she's doing right now.
Film that, you know? So...
Filming just in her head, I shouldn't have stopped, sorry. Filming just legitimizes it in her head to excuse it. So, oh, I'm making a video, so it's a mukbang, so I have to eat this stuff. It's my job. And therefore, it's not a binge. And it shows how much she compartmentalizes that.
I mean, to me, that's what it is. And that's why I say people don't speak on somebody else's eating disorder or whatever if you don't know what you're talking about.
You're okay, sweetheart. I know what I'm talking about.
You don't know them. You know, people like to pretend they know everybody, but they don't. So, okay, so I just wanted to explain that 10 minutes long there, but I'm going for
35 minutes long there, sorry guys. Hopefully I can skip through the actual mukbang thing if it doesn't have massively important stuff in. Apologies.
Drive, and yeah, I love going for long drives. I just love going for long drives. I don't have anything to eat or drink with me, just the drive.
If it's just the drive, why did you stop for something to eat?
But I'm gonna stop and try a new item. I think
See, I didn't bring anything with me. I'm just stopping for fast food. Bitch, do you see those as different? Because they ain't different. That is not different. Just means you're driving to the food instead of stopping at Starbucks and getting a snack on the way to the food.
it's like a new Cajun chicken burger at Burger King. I cannot wait. And you know, I was watching a lot of
Sorry.
things on McDonald's. I just love the vintage commercials and stuff like that. I don't know, and like the old packaging. Like I wish I kept my McDonald's toys, the old packaging. Just everything about fast food, I'm just like fascinated with it. I don't know.
She uses this word fascinated like she's just learned it. And again, like, oh, it's not a binge, it's a hobby. I like many things to do with fast food. But I'm guessing if she was watching these things, she was doing it late at night, she got a craving, and that's what got her to this point. So it's all triggers.
But there's this man, Don Gorski, he has eaten over 25,000. He's been eating a Big Mac meal every day for 39 years.
Oh, I've heard of this guy. I think he was featured ages ago. What was that documentary called? Super Size Me, I think. I feel like they mentioned him there.
And he's thin.
Mm.
Like I guess he eats it in moderation. Like if you had
Yeah, well, that would be the key, wouldn't it? Here's the thing about Chantal. For all she thinks, no one can know my special snowflake condition. We're exactly the same. We have no idea when it comes, or no control over portions. Everything I buy is one portion. I've said this to you before. If we could do this in moderation, she wouldn't be the size she is. If I could do this in moderation, I wouldn't have needed weight loss surgery. Like, moderation is the key, and if you don't have it, don't compare yourself to him. Because it's like when she compares herself to other mukbangers and she says, well, you know, they do this, but they do it once a month. They do this, but they do exercise. They eat high carb, but then they're exercising 3 hours a friggin' day. You know, it's not the same thing.
Big Mac every day, that's what, 700 calories? You know, it's just like,
But that's
you know,
not
you don't know what someone else is eating the rest of the time.
We know what you're eating the rest of the time because you're telling us you're binging and you're posting it on Instagram. You're doing what I eat in a day.
Off camera, you don't know what they're doing to improve their health or not. And
Or not.
frankly, it's not really anyone's business. Now, granted, I know I'm a public figure, and
Yeah.
I know that people are gonna just.
Not only are you a public figure, your entire public life is built around the food you eat. So yeah, we do see that and we get to talk about it.
Discuss it, that's whatever, but that's just my part on it, and yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So, but it is, people are gonna say, you're trying to justify your bad eating habits. Well,
Do you know
you
why
know,
people
eating
say
is very
that?
personal for everybody.
Jesus Christ. She already knows the answers because she's done this before. It doesn't mean the answers aren't valid because people keep saying them to you. There's a reason people keep saying them to you. Eating is personal. Human biology has some rules. And until you can follow those rules, you're not going to lose weight.
I said, like, I keep using her as an example, but Megan McCollum, mukbangs have actually helped her. She does one once a week, granted, but.
Oh, okay, so there you go. That would be the balance that other people sometimes have that you don't. If she's doing them once a week, it's not. You said you were going to do fast food every Friday in your previous video, and apparently that's lasted 18 hours because you're now panicking and going to Burger King.
It doesn't have to be like everyone thinks, you know, but either way, whatever you think, you're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to live my life according to someone else's opinion of me.
That's okay, and you should never live your life according to someone else's opinion, but maybe live your life according to the limits of your body, which has been actively breaking down for the last few months. Maybe live your life according to how out of breath you are standing up or sitting down, about the fact that you want to be able to walk around a grocery store. These are all things you've said. These aren't words I'm putting into your mouth.
that's what I really have to learn to do, because I always say that and then, you know, I do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my final decision.
No,
I
it's
want
not.
to.
No, it's not. Chantal has no final decision. She has the tantrum. She has the moment where she's being obstinate. This is her inner child. This is Chantal's inner child talking. I want what I want it now, I don't care. And when the practicalities of life come upon her, she has a teeny, tiny adult voice that is stifled by food most of the time that goes, I don't want to be this way. And that tiny voice, the hope that that tiny voice might one day become bigger, is the reason I keep holding on with her. And by God, she is frustrating. But I have made every excuse she has made. I've had these tantrums, and I know what it's like for life to be better. And I wish she did. I wish she hadn't been fat her whole life, because I didn't realize, I didn't recognize my own behaviors fully until I was no longer the size I was. And I needed intervention for that.
Be a foodie channel. I want to go back to lighthearted mukbangs and everything.
Your mukbangs were never lighthearted. Go back years and she's got like depression mukbang, midnight eating as half of her titles.
And just, you know what I mean? That's what I enjoy doing. And if, like I said, if it's not your cup of tea, not your entertainment, that's fine. A lot of people hate mukbangs. I don't know why you would be here then watching them, but just don't watch them. You know, like plain and simple. Some people do enjoy them, so those videos are for you guys, I guess. If you want to follow me on Instagram, I do post more personal stuff on Instagram, like just pictures of me, my cats, and my life. And
don't get excited,
you know.
That's literally all it is.
But, you know, things I believe in or things I want to say. So, it is my Instagram, after all.
Oh, she just suddenly got really awkward.
My Instagram. So, we're going to go for a little drive and get something to eat.
Using the silly voices here, she's already embarrassed. She wants to be defiant, but she already knows it's horseshit.
And yeah, that pizza was friggin' horrible. Like, I was like,
We could tell.
I mean, it was edible, but it hurt my stomach. It did end up hurting my stomach. I don't know, it made me feel nauseous for some reason. Like, if you want to have a pizza, just have a fucking regular pizza, you know? All the substitution bullshit. It's not for me, sorry. I don't know. I'd rather just be fat then, I guess. Like, seriously.
I genuinely believe that she'd rather have an easy fat life, however short it might be. And to be honest, I used to say, like, when I was a size 24, UK, I used to think, what if someone right now waved a wand and said, nobody can change weight? That's done. We're just finished. Everyone is stuck in the body they have right now. How would I feel? And the answer was relieved. Because all the pressure to better myself, all the judgment on the size you are, it would be gone because no one could help anything. You just have the body you had. And nothing could be done. And I think that's the feeling she's chasing. Just to not have to deal with all the practical things that don't go away, that as they get more serious, she will have to deal with. Which is why this can't be her final word.
Like, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I have this defiant attitude today. Because...
today, your whole life.
You know what I mean? I'm just sick of it. There's so many different diets. No wonder people change their minds all the time and are confused. It's like, there's keto, low carb, vegan, this is bad for you, that's bad for you, fucking...
Just pick one. Pick any one you like the look of and stick to it. Just pick one.
Eat them like with every meal, and it's just like, that's what I'm saying, it's personal. Just eat what you want, and who cares what people...
No, that's the difference. Choosing a diet that will fit you better and just eating what you want. are two different things.
We'll say, okay? That's what I'm trying to do. So, I mean, it's just, I am so sick of people picking apart every single thing I eat and do. I'm sick of it. Like, I don't know, it's just like, why me?
It's not going to stop me, but I bet you are.
Like, because I'm overweight and I have weight to lose?
No, because you come on and you say that you understand that you need to do this or you're going to die. And then you decide to be defiant and not do it. And you have tantrums. And you cycle through that and you cycle through it and you cycle through it. And that's why you get hate. You get the kind of hate that other bigger, even mukbangers don't get, because they don't do that.
So people feel like, I don't know, maybe, like I said, it's because I keep switching back and forth, whatever. But this is just how it's going to be for me. And yeah, for those of you who, I know it's annoying me too. Because it's like, why do I say, like I said, I wanted to only eat fast food on Fridays. Why do I do that to myself? Because at the time, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that. But then it's like, saying something and doing it is different.
Yeah.
You know, I can't. Like,
You can, you don't want the discomfort of trying. I can, but it's going to be hard, and I don't want it to be. I think that's probably a more accurate description. Not I can't. I don't want to put the work in.
I hate having, like, rigid structure. I just never functioned well that way. And some people don't. Some people need a routine, a meal plan. I hate it.
I go back and forth in it. I definitely have times where having rigid plans is too overwhelming for what I need. And sometimes softly and just saying like, okay, whatever else I do, I will do 30 minutes of exercise. Sometimes just changing one thing is helpful in that moment. And then sometimes I feel really motivated tracking my food and doing my things. So it does definitely change, but you need to do something. And for the record, eating fast food on Fridays only is not a rigid thing.
I just hate it. So why make myself, I should get to live it the way that I want to, that makes me happy. And just because somebody disapproves of it, doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So I've just been living, I think I've just been...
I love how every time she doesn't actually have a logical reason, she just goes, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? No one knows what you're saying, because there's no logical reason behind it.
Living my life the wrong way. I'm not saying that I should go and gain 300 pounds, or I'm not saying that being overweight is healthy. That's completely, so don't twist my words. But this is just the way I want to live my life. So
when she says, I don't want to gain 300 pounds, I think a lot of the time she becomes very numb to the number she actually weighs. I mean, she's 400 pounds right now. 400 pounds right now. And given how short she is, she could legitimately lose 300 pounds and still be considered in an okay BMI. 100 pounds is small, but she's actually a very small person.
I'm done explaining anything. You know what I mean? So
You're not.
There, I've said it. We can move on, and hopefully, just make my channel better. I've privatized the whole swolenormous thing.
Of course you did. And again, that goes back to, she wants to get away. If she could just take an eraser and erase all the information she gave us so she could go back to mukbangs without people judging her, she would. I don't actually even really blame her for that, because I'm sure it gets exhausting. But look, she's had a tantrum and now she's erasing anything that might cause criticism. It's too late. It's out on the internet. It's out in the swolenormous community. His videos aren't coming down. So there's no erasing, there's no putting that genie back in the bottle.
The whole, hater thing, because I don't want that on my platform. I don't want people to come to my channel and have given them any attention that they don't deserve from me. So
You shouldn't have made the video because it's too late now. You know people have archived that video. You know that people have seen it and commented on it and discussed it.
Yeah. Alright guys, you know I love you Foodie Beauties.
I don't know that.
No, we're gonna have a good time together.
I do not think
and, yeah, people are, you know, yeah, I look happy getting to eat what I want because who wants to eat something they don't like, right?
So eat better food. You can't say you're a foodie and be like, the only thing I like to eat is fast food crap.
So,
Stupid voice again.
let's get to.
It is after midnight, and this man is possessed by hunger. A hunger so powerful.
Burger King 1984 commercial. Is this what you're aspiring to here? Because this man is possessed while in a car on a road feels a little bit personal, Chantal.
The midnight zone.
Alright, we are going through the drive-thru at Burger King. It looks like Burger King and KFC are...
And can we say as well, there must be a Burger King closer to her. She's had Burger King before. So if anyone was in any doubt that the drive was the justification, here you go.
Like, I want Burger King today. I want to try the new Cajun. See if they have it.
So Cajun crispy chicken with a large fry and a lemonade?
Yes, please.
Will that be on?
That's it.
Alright, that'll be after the first window.
Thank you.
So she's got a large meal, which she didn't need to have. That's what she went from last time being like, oh no, I'm just going to have one meal, and that's control compared to everything else, and now it's one large meal. Is it just me, or is her hair... I don't know if maybe she's put the hair soot stuff, what's it called, the powder thing she puts in her, she's put it back too far today, but maybe it's just the angle of the camera. Her head's looking a little bit pointy here. Is that fair to say? I don't mean to be mean, but she doesn't usually look that way, and suddenly it was maybe just weird thing with the light.
I guess it'll be nice and hot and fresh. Probably burn my mouth. Where am I gonna...
You can't win. When it's not fresh, she complains. When it's fresh, she's like, it'll burn my mouth.
Sit and eat, guys. Somewhere far away from other people, so they can't stare at me eating.
But I'm not ashamed, and this is definitely not a binge. But, you know, no one can look at me. I thought you said shame was for binges.
I don't know where that will be, because...
Everywhere's too exposed.
Weird area. I'm gonna be here. I'll probably pop a tire eating here, but whatever. Alright. Not like a gas station. Has like fast food places in it.
This is legitimately a busier area than she would usually do this in. I'm surprised that she's willing to do that, because it's going to make her very nervous, because she is ashamed, and this is a binge, and she will have those responses and be looking around the whole time, I'm guessing. But I'm surprised she hasn't pulled out and just pulled into like the side of a road or somewhere quiet, but I'm guessing at this point she can't wait, she just wants the food.
So, let me see if I can just like eat here without having to move my camera. Had some... Oh yeah, that should work, right, guys? I had some Armor All.
Oh, she pushed her glasses up. Is that what's happened? I figured out why it looks a weird shape. I think she just pushed her glasses up. Alright, that explains more.
Bought like an Armor All, and I have my own straw. I got this in my FabFit Fun or whatever it's called.
Given that she's sponsored to do those boxes, shouldn't you know the name? Also, she didn't clean the straw in her water bottle when it was by the sink. I have doubt she's going to clean this properly. I would not want to travel with that. Better to use a disposable.
I don't like the paper straws at all. So I have my own straw. So this is lemonade, beauty sip. Holy crap. That's like, tastes like pure syrup.
I thought she went for diet sodas when she was doing these things. She just said in her old video, like, why add the extra 200 calories or however much it was.
She handed me at first, and then like normally,
how high
if
is
I ask
that
for anything,
tray?
it's like extra ice. But I didn't ask for extra ice because normally they usually do put ice. The fries are so fresh. Oh my god, check it out. Oh my god,
One's running for its life.
Whew. They're super hot. I got ketchup. So today I'm trying the Burger King Cajun chicken.
Guys, legit, my video, according to this, is already like 57 minutes long, which is insane. So I'm probably going to skip through a lot of the mukbang unless there are relevant comments I make. I'm going to cut out bits of her eating, unless she's got a really interesting review, which she doesn't usually, I'll just stick to any relevant comments, I think, for what she's been saying so far, because this video is too long. Okay, given how monstrously long the video is, most of the interest was at the beginning, so most of the mukbang I've just cut. The only interesting thing was this very short clip here.
Don't come over here. Anyway.
That was when someone either looked like they were coming over or got a bit too close, and she was like, don't come over here, don't come over here. And again, it goes back to that shame reflex. To say it's not a binge, but to be ashamed and not want people to see you, what you're saying isn't matching up to what you're actually doing. Also, at the very end, she put the mukbang was just her telling a story about how in 1984 there was a massacre at McDonald's. A guy went in and shot everyone. It was lovely dinner storytelling. At the very end, she did also say,
maybe comment if you want me to mukbang anything, give me ideas, or if there's any subjects you want me to talk about, let me know.
and I'm thinking, like, if you're doing mukbangs, arguably are her laziest content, but it's you buy stuff and you eat it. So even going back to that, you're still telling your audience, tell me what you want me to eat, give me ideas. Like, come on now. If you're gonna do it, like, don't be so lazy. Come on. Not that I think she should be doing it, for all the reasons that she can now tell us. She's already told us all the reasons she shouldn't be doing it, but the fact is, this is a child having a tantrum. And the anger is a natural part of any binge cycle. It's the part of you that says, there are people that can do this and not have a problem, and I'm angry that I'm not one of those people and I'm gonna do it. And actually, that response is entirely fair. It's incredibly frustrating when you see people not have a problem with something you have a major problem with. And it's natural to be like, why? Because I'm sure she feels just picked on. Why was I picked to have this problem instead of dealing with the issues that are giving her this problem? That's why going to therapy would be useful. I don't know. She did say that she'd gone to therapy. We'll see if we hear anything about that in the future, because as we know with Chantal, it's not the doing it, it's the keeping doing it. But it does seem to have been a very quick cycle for her over the last 18 hours. We went from, I'm going to eat healthier, to car mukbangs. Very, very quickly, we skipped over a few stages there to like defiance and screw you, I'm going to do mukbangs from now on. So a little micro cycle for us there. I think I said everything I wanted to say earlier in the video. Put your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear them. I wish she could I wish she could get better. This is so frustrating, and yes, I could just choose not to watch, but the moments when she realizes, I wish she could get but I wish she could go on her trip. I'm waiting for an update on that Dominican Republic trip. Either an excuse as to why it's not happening or what she's planning on doing. Because as far as we know, that trip is still in place. At what point is she going to realize things are getting closer and then she'll go through this cycle again? Because you know it will happen. There's no way she's finished talking about this. Last time she went back to Mukbang, she did do them pretty consistently. She did them for a couple of months. We'll see how long this lasts. With that trip on the horizon, I don't think she can afford to stay in Mukbangs that long. And as defiant as she's feeling right now, I think she does know that. And I think that's the reason that she's been cycling through things so quickly, because a part of her does realize what she's doing. It's just whether she's willing to admit it in the moment or not. Okay, sorry for the hugely long video. I'll cut it down as much as I can. Right now the raw footage is 1 hour and 15 minutes long. I apologize. I'll try and make it shorter. And I will talk to you all again next time. Thank you so much for watching.